down here in the 80s and 90s, it was really cracking. I mean, LA was at the height of murders and specifically gang homicides, and it was just really cracking. Anybody who survived in LA, not even being a gangster, but just survived even as a civilian through those times, I mean, I feel like you're a warrior to this day. But was Portland experiencing the same thing, or was it, because, you know, when I heard Portland as a kid, you know, I'm thinking Lily White, you know, houses, hippies, you know, stuff like that. I'm not thinking Crips, Bloods, and things like that.
Well, you know, the thing about Portland is that it's 7% black, but when the gangs were thriving, the communities were small. So if you knew one black community, there might have been 3 black communities all together. But when everything is crack infested and everybody's on dope, it's a war zone because the blacks are only fraternizing where the blacks are at. If you were anywhere else in the city, you were fine. But if you was in those 3 spots that only the black people could go, one of them was a store on a street called 9th in Alberta called Jack's, where all the blacks went to get chicken. They're known for chicken. It would be like Louisiana's in LA.
Yep.
Or the Slauson Swap.
Okay.
Everybody goes there. This is how Jack's was in Portland. And a lot of shootings happen there, murders happen there. If you wasn't at Jack's, there was 2 or 3 major housing facilities for black people or low income. And those were been taken up by crack, by gangs. Again, murders happen in those spots.
Yeah.
But there was no way that if you had an enemy and you was gangbanging that you could miss him in Portland, Oregon. Because there's a so limited number of blacks there that the violence number was up so high just because there was nowhere to hide, nowhere to go. I mean, you go to the bus stop,
You stand
same
out
streets,
too.
everybody's riding the same streets. You're gonna stand out. You're blackface. But on top of that, you had the white gangs, and they was deep. Where the Crips and Bloods might have been 200, 300 deep, the white boys had about 1,000.
What white gangs would you give us a couple of names?
The Aryan Nations, the Skinheads.
I'm talking those motherfuckers.
They had a group called the Rude Boys. I mean, and they was banging. They wasn't going to jail for gang banging, but that's what they was doing. They was banging.
Oh yeah.
You know, and at the time they had a couple of deaths in Oregon that was all over the news. How they had been, killing blacks and doing different things. And so part of what the black gangs were doing was going against the white boys. And then you had the Portland police, and the police department was very racist. Oregon still got in their law books that a black is to be in by sundown. That's still in their law books.
Wow, and it's crazy that wow, and I'm sure they don't enforce it, but it's crazy that they just erase that shit. Can you just take that shit out, like exit out or something? It's crazy how, you know what I'm saying?
That and a young man just got that to Vancouver, Washington, which is just on the other side of the bridge from Portland. It's 5 minutes away. He jumped out of his car, he ran, they shot him in the back 15 times. So Vancouver, Washington is one of the most racist cities in America.
Really?
Their jail is owned by 5 judges, and the 5 judges is all white.
Making that money.
In their law book, because I had a case over there before, I got caught with ounces of cocaine over there, crack, a MAC-10, and a 9mm. Went to trial in motions. We beat it for illegal search and seizure, but we found out that the jail was owned by the judges, which is 5 judges that own it. And they still have in their law books driving while black, which means anytime a crime happens in that city, you stop the car that you see the blacks driving to try to get the criminal, whoever it might be. Any call you get, first blacks you see, you pull over the car. And that was the only reason they had pulled our car over that day, because we were driving while black.
Oh, okay. Damn, and a lot of what you said is going to go over the dumb people head out there that didn't catch that, but the jails being owned by judges is huge. I mean, that means they're profiting, so they benefit every time they put a motherfucker in jail.
Exactly. I mean, private owned jails. You stop black people, you take them to jail, you haul them off, you get a paycheck. whether they're right or they're wrong.